Subscribe to the MTL World at Mythal World 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin. Volume 11, The Xuanhuan Blade Dao. Chapter 397, Refining the Origin of Blood Crane Territory. 12th of Volume 11. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. The origin of the mysterious land, Blood Crane Territory, was extremely vast and profound, even more intricate than that of an origin world. Luo Feng had only mastered one of its powers, blood power, so his refinement process was relatively slow. Using blood power as a guide, he followed the clues step by step, delving deeper. Faced with such an immense origin, it is impossible to rely on luck to penetrate it. Only by comprehending the fusion of its origin could one understand how to refine it and achieve progressive layering and gradual deepening. The three lords of the Blood Crane Territory shuddered. He's refining the origin of the Blood Crane Territory. He's begun refining it. Each of them had mastered one of the highest tier powers aligned with the Blood Crane Territory. Over the long years, they had repeatedly attempted refinement. Although none had succeeded, they are intimately familiar with its origin. Not even the slightest change in the Blood Crane Territory's origin could escape their notice. The origin of a mysterious land is inherently extremely difficult to refine. The fusion of the three highest tier powers into one origin is unfathomably profound and vast. If we couldn't refine it, neither can he. The Blood Lord, Crane Lord, and Shadow Lord monitored the refinement progress, yet their hearts are filled with tension and unease. They could not accept the outcome of Practitioner Lord Luo Feng refining the origin of the Blood Crane Territory. After all, this is their birthplace, their home. Moreover, the Blood Crane Territory is the mysterious land most attuned to their existence. Across the infinite Xuanhuan space, where else could they find a mysterious land perfectly aligned with their highest tier powers? Nowhere. Practitioner lords, having mastered the Dao, could deduce the most suitable powers based on a relatively attuned mysterious land. But the Xuanhuan ancestors could not. Thus, when refining a mysterious land, most of them chose their birthplace. His refinement progress is still increasing. The Blood Lord's expression was grave. We encountered obstacles and bottlenecks, why hasn't he hit any? The Crane Lord found it hard to believe. The Shadow Lord remained silent. After all, he was the one who had brought Luo Feng here. The Blood Crane Territory. It held far too special meaning for the three of them. On one hand, this was their birthplace. Here, they could mobilize part of the Blood Sea's power, reaching their peak combat strength. They could face any enemy with confidence. It was also a land that continuously nurtured new members of their race, allowing their lineage to grow. Perhaps, in the future, a fourth or even fifth Xuanhuan ancestor-level being could emerge. On the other hand, the Blood Crane Territory was their greatest hope for achieving true immortality. For practitioner lords, who were already immortal, refining a mysterious land merely added some auxiliary abilities, making them more versatile, a mere enhancement. But for Xuanhuan ancestors, it was a transformation of fate. Those who had not attained immortality were mere pawns. Only by achieving immortality could they become eternal players in the infinite Xuanhuan space. But now, their greatest hope for immortality was about to vanish. How could they not be frantic? His refinement progress has far surpassed my peak. The Blood Lord could sense it clearly. And he's encountered no bottlenecks, his refinement is smooth. The Crane Lord said, I've long heard of the terrifying comprehension of practitioner lords. Now, I've witnessed it firsthand. In truth, among the 8 practitioner lords, only Luo Feng and Lord Xing Meng had broken through via sheer force. Their insight and comprehension are so astounding that even the other 6 lords marveled at them. To comprehend a Xuanhuan level Dao while still confined by the cage, what kind of talent is that? Given that the Blood Crane Territory aligned with Luo Feng, refining it in just over 3 epochs is hardly surprising. Time passed swiftly. 5 days later. The Blood Lord, Crane Lord, and Shadow Lord have been monitoring the refinement progress. Over these 5 days, Luo Feng had continued refining without encountering a single bottleneck. His refinement progress has exceeded 80%. The Blood Lord's expression was cold as he looked at his 2 companions. Although I loathe to admit it, the truth is before us. Our homeland, the Blood Crane Territory, will soon be refined by him. It's my fault. My fault. The Shadow Lord's massive phantom twisted in rage, his voice a low growl of unwillingness. Before this, only Yuan and Xing Meng among the practitioner faction had ever refined a mysterious land. Clearly, even for practitioner lords, refining one was an immense challenge. The Shadow Lord had never imagined that Luo Feng might succeed in refining the Blood Crane Territory. The Blood Lord and Crane Lord shot icy glances at the Shadow Lord. Their greatest hope for immortality was shattered. Their hope for the expansion of their tribe was gone. Their homeland and stronghold were lost. How could they ever forgive this companion of theirs? After all, invading practitioner territory had been the Shadow Lord's obstinate decision. They had advised against provoking the three major factions, but the Shadow Lord had ignored them. This incident had already sown discord among the three of them. We must leave. The Blood Lord said, once Luo Feng fully refines the origin of Blood Crane territory, his power here will be at its peak. He'll be able to mobilize the entire Blood Crane territory's strength. By then, none of us will be able to escape. The combined power of the Blood Crane territory surpassed even Luo Feng's own strength. Where would we go? The Shadow Lord asked. No matter where, we must first migrate beyond the Blood Crane territory's reach. The Blood Lord replied, we'll take our lineage with us. Agreed. The Crane Lord nodded. Leaving their homeland, who would be willing? Who would accept it? But reality left them no choice. The three lords of the Blood Crane territory immediately took action. Relying on the Shadow Lord's mobility, they sought out the world-level Xuanhuan lifeforms. The Blood Crane territory is about to be refined by the practitioner Luo Feng. This is a calamity for our lineage. We have no choice but to migrate. Those who remain will be enslaved by Luo Feng, becoming servants of the practitioner faction. Will you stay, or will you leave with us? The three lords transmitted their message to the world-level Xuanhuan lifeforms. Although the news stunned them, the world-level Xuanhuan lifeforms of the Blood Crane lineage quickly made their choice. We are willing to leave. We will follow the three lords. These world-level Xuanhuan lifeforms understood all too well joining the practitioner faction would make them subordinates. The practitioner faction would always prioritize their own world-level practitioners. As innate Xuanhuan lifeforms, they would never rise above them. The Blood Lord, Crane Lord, and Shadow Lord gathered all of the world-level Xuanhuan lifeforms under their commands and, along the way, collected a large number of high-level Xuanhuan lifeforms. What? The Blood Crane territory is about to be refined by that practitioner lord. The entire lineage must migrate. Why wasn't I taken? Where are the three lords? Why didn't they take us? The vast Blood Sea teemed with countless high-level Xuanhuan lifeforms, scattered far and wide. The three lords only bothered to collect most of them while retrieving the world-level Xuanhuan lifeforms, then deemed it a waste of time to gather the rest. In the infinite Xuanhuan space, high-level Xuanhuan lifeforms were utterly insignificant. Three lords, take us with you. We want to leave too. Countless forgotten high-level Xuanhuan lifeforms called out in despair, but their pleas were futile. To the three lords of the Blood Crane territory, these beings were nothing more than numbers. Boom. Rumble. Boom. As Luo Feng continued refining, the endless ocean of the Blood Crane territory grew increasingly turbulent. We must leave now. Three massive figures swiftly flew out of the Blood Crane territory, not daring to linger. At this point, Luo Feng's refinement had already exceeded 90%, and the process was also accelerating. Luo Feng's refinement speed has increased. The Blood Lord, Crane Lord, and Shadow Lord gazed at the surging, boundless blood sea, the vast expanse that had birthed them, their homeland. But now, this mysterious land was about to be refined, about to welcome its new master. Elder brother, where would we go? Should we claim another territory or seek refuge with the innate Xuanhuan faction? The Crane Lord asked. The innate Xuanhuan faction had always actively recruited forces from all sides. In their eyes, any being born as a Xuanhuan lifeform was one of them. Joining any faction requires careful consideration. For now, we'll temporarily reside in the Black River World Cluster. Its resources should be suffice, the Blood Lord replied. The Crane Lord agreed, while the Shadow Lord, having caused this catastrophe, no longer dared to speak out of turn. His temperament had changed greatly since the disaster. The three lords immediately departed, heading straight for the distant and remote Black River World Cluster, a region even farther from the practitioner faction's territory. As the three lords of the Blood Crane territory led their lineage in migration, the blood sea within the mysterious land grew even more turbulent. The remaining high-level Xuanhuan lifeforms trembled in fear, terrified of being caught in the destruction. The Blood Crane territory is about to be refined. It's the practitioner Lord Luo Feng. Across the infinite Xuanhuan space, ancient beings with powerful observation methods watched from afar. They saw the endless blood sea and, seated deep within it, the black-robed, black-haired man. Among the 8 lords of the practitioner faction, this newly ascended lord, Luo Feng, has actually refined a mysterious land so quickly. The Blood Crane territory's power encompasses blood power, immortal power, and shadow power, all defensive abilities. This Lord Luo Feng's defensive prowess is already formidable. With the additional power of this mysterious land, his defensive capabilities should advance even further. Fortunately, his specialty is defense. Some ancient beings sighed in relief. No matter how strong his defense, it is still just a survival skill. The practitioner lords are already immortal. If their survival abilities grew even stronger, the other ancient beings could tolerate it. At least for now, this Luo Feng didn't seem too intimidating. Buzz. The once turbulent blood sea suddenly calmed. In the center of the vast, serene sea, Luo Feng sat cross-legged on the surface. A blood-colored robe naturally condensed around his body. It's quiet now. Has the blood crane territory stabilized? The forgotten high-level Hunyuan lifeforms within the blood sea attempted to fly outward, but their strength was too weak, and their speed far too slow. Back when they had plundered the practitioner faction's territory, it had been under the Lord's leadership. Now, the blood sea was utterly still as if frozen. The high-level Hunyuan lifeforms couldn't fly, nor could they part the waves even slightly. Luo Feng slowly opened his eyes. This is the origin of the blood crane territory. He had completed the refinement. The Tao of Hunyuan life and death is part of his very being, and now, so is the origin of the blood crane territory. Unlike the origin of a origin world, which could only be used within that world, the origin power of a mysterious land could be borrowed even from vast distances, albeit in limited amounts. Within the blood crane territory, this power is at least comparable to 3 or 4 lords working together. With a single thought, Luo Feng sensed the energy reserves of the mysterious land's endless blood sea far surpassing any single life form. No living being could compare to a mysterious land in energy reserves. The land of origin effortlessly supplied energy to the entire practitioner faction, including the 8 lords. The blood crane territory had also once sustained the entire blood crane lineage. Whoosh. With a mere thought, Luo Feng gathered all 7.5 billion remaining high-level Hunyuan lifeforms within the blood crane territory before him. A dense sea of high-level Hunyuan lifeforms, all members of the blood crane lineage, knelt instinctively before the towering, blood-colored robed practitioner lord. We pay homage to the great Lord Luo. Their voices were filled with reverence. To these weak high-level Hunyuan lifeforms, whether it was the Hunyuan ancestors or the practitioner lords, all were supreme beings beyond resistance. Do you swear allegiance to me? Luo Feng's voice echoed majestically in the minds of every high-level Hunyuan lifeform. We swear. Not a single one of the 7.5 billion abandoned high-level Hunyuan lifeforms dared to resist. Some captive innate Hunyuan lifeforms in the practitioner faction still clung to arrogance, believing the innate Hunyuan faction would triumph and rescue them. But the blood crane lineage held no such pride before Luo Feng. After all, even their blood crane territory had been refined, and their 3 Hunyuan ancestors had fled in disgrace. Good. Luo Feng gazed down and nodded slightly. At this moment, he had gained over 7.5 billion high-level Hunyuan lifeforms as his subordinates. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to MTL World at World 1 YouTube channel.